Someone said that I should have started a YouTube, or someone long ago said I should have started a YouTube channel, because one of the things that was unusual is that we homeschool. Why? Sure. It began when I was 18 years old. We were in high school, maybe I was 17. I was in high school, and one of the schools we drove past on our way as family to go and get grocery. At that school, a little girl was raped by other boys in her school, and that was a junior school. And in my teenage naivety, I said to myself, there is no way I'm going to let my child go to school to be raped. Let the rapist come through me. I'm not going to send them out there. I know it's a silly reason, but that's how I felt as a teenager, that I will save or protect my child. As I said, it was teenage naivety, because rapists come into our houses. Nowhere is safe. But that was the first time I thought of it. I'd not ever heard of home education. I just thought, I will keep my child at home. I will teach them myself. I'd never, as I said, I'd never heard of it. I didn't know how to go about it. I didn't know anyone who had been taught at home. But that was the beginning. We are Seventh-day Adventist, and we personally, I will speak for myself. I believed I found a husband who truly loved God and wanted to obey him as a sign of loving him. I will repeat a verse I said in another episode, John 14 verse 15. If ye love me, keep my commandments. That's what Jesus said. And it's so easy. It's easier than having to go and die on a cross. Living for Christ is easier than dying for him. So for me, it was a matter of, since like age 16 onwards, I loved God, and I wanted to translate that into living for him as much as I could. I wasn't a perfect girl at all. Those who know me know I was not perfect. But I was trying, at the same time, I was trying to please God. And I was trying to understand things along the way. Why should we do this? Why shouldn't we do that? And growing. And as part of the growing, I was reading books by one of our founders or one of our pioneers. And in it, she talks about education. And before I go there, there's a chapter, Deuteronomy 6, where it says we must teach our children the law of God when we're sitting, when we're walking, when we're standing, when we're eating, basically all day. Their lives must be filled with the law of God. And I knew that they can't get that at a school. I knew what school was like. I mean, my friends are not going to be talking about the law of God. My friends didn't talk about the law of God. What my friends did, and that was the other thing, I knew what other kids were like. My one friend, before choir practice, we would go with her, and she would go buy cigarettes at the garage next to our school. I just knew that, okay, I can send my child to the best schools in terms of providing education, but it won't be the best school in terms of their spiritual health. I've lived it, I know it. Junior school, there was the racism, though I didn't think of it until later, when one of my old ex-white friends said that was actually clever of you to homeschool your children, then they won't be exposed to racism, because the best schools are white or white run. But I knew that the best schools were not going to give my children the best spiritual atmosphere. As I was saying, my friend and I, we were probably 15 and 16. We would go with her, walk with her, accompany her, and she would go buy cigarettes. You shouldn't be smoking at any age, but as a teenager in a girls' school, we were all girls' school, there she was smoking. And she would tell us stories about how she'd be with her boyfriend in their church toilet, and they were doing things that, in my mind, only married people should be doing. So that's what when I thought of school, I thought of that. I thought of the other girl who'd run away from our boarding school 17-year-old. She'd run off and gone with some guy who was, I think, 25 or 35 on his motorbike. And she used to tell us a lot of the things they used to do, oral, you know, oral sex. So and it sounded gross to me. There'd be a towel. It was just gross. And that didn't seem very Christian, you see. So it didn't fit in with Deuteronomy 6, verse 6 to 9, that you must teach them the law. It must be basically the foundation, the law of God, all of it. It's not just the 10 commandments. How to live, how to interact with your neighbor, how to give to the poor. You know, the thing about how when you glean your field, or when you go into your field and harvest, don't go back and take more. The things that you left, leave it for the poor. Translating that into modern times, that's not in the school curriculum. Loving the stranger, and at the same time, the stranger must also comply with God's law once he becomes one of you. That it's not in our curriculum. So I knew that I wanted to give them a godly foundation, but I didn't know where there was such a school. We are Seventh-day Adventist, but the schools that I know of, they don't have that. They don't have the true biblical foundation. Titus 2, for example, a woman being the keeper at home, modesty, femininity, it's not there in our schools, and how we should not try and esteem ourselves better than the other, which I know the Jehovah's Witnesses also understand to mean don't compete. Don't try and be faster than someone else. Don't try and prove that you're more clever. That it's part and parcel of the school atmosphere. So we didn't want that. I didn't want that, and thankfully neither did he. So the question was, then what? As we're reading the books, we come across education, what education should be like, how children, when they're young, shouldn't be stuck at desks writing, but just free to play, and that nature should be their school book, their textbook. God should be their teacher. That you won't get at a normal school. They have to sit and they have to learn how to write their names when they're 5, that. So then it became, all right, the only one who can do this is the mother. The mother is the only one that can be this kind of teacher, where you look at the child's abilities and mold your curriculum according to their ability. And then being able to give them one-on-one help when they need it. It's better than when there are 30 children and you've got that 1 hour lesson. I'm the math teacher, I'm the science teacher, I'm the history teacher, different people in a normal school. So they will just have the 55 minutes and then boom, they're gone. I can't really tell if so-and-so is having problems. And if so-and-so is having problems, I've also got 8 other students also having problems. And then I've got all the other grades. There's no way in a typical school, this kind of school I went to, that the teacher can expend as much time on one pupil as a parent can, who is teaching their child themselves. And when I say homeschooling, I don't mean online schooling, where the child is at home, but they're being taught by someone who's not in their home. For me, for us, home education is the parent at home or the grandparent, but a parent at home who is sitting with the child, deciding for them what the syllabus will be, what the lessons for the day will be, what questions to answer, what questions not to answer, setting exams. That for us is what we mean by we are doing homeschooling. We are the school. I am the school governing body. I decide the choices of subjects. Well, not really, because I decide with the children. But yeah, so that's how we decided to do homeschooling, because there's no one who can be as Christian as a Christian mother. No school that we know of that worked together or had our principles. There was no school that held our principles. Do you know any school that keeps the Sabbath, the 7-day Sabbath, like the Jews, like God gave them, and where women wear dresses, boys wear pants? It's not there. Everyone is just all the same now. They're all mixed up. where there is no competition. There is no sense of this one gets a prize because she performed the best in English. It's very, I don't know of one. And so I will be that one, firstly. And also, even if the school is like that, I don't know what the children are like. Even if the principal decided I will have, the most Christian school, the most Christian teachings, the children come from different homes. And it's a problem that one of our friends came, who visited last week, said their child goes to a very, very private, like also British Cambridge school. But even that small school, the principal was saying, whoa, what we're seeing in the high school kids is horrific. It's horrendous. I mean, I see these 16-year-old girls selling their bodies, proudly, South African black girls, proudly stating that they're sleeping with Mr. So-and-so and Mr. So-and-so so that they can do their nails, do their hair, get more airtime. It's rampant. Around here, it's known that our girls are giving themselves to older men from a certain country, apparently. I want to name the country, for the same thing. Drugs are very common also. People selling drugs. That was our other motive, to keep them at home so that we can teach them drugs are bad, don't do drugs. This is bad, don't do it. So that it's in their heads without the outside influence, warring with them. And then when they go out into the world, they've got that foundation. If they decide to step off the foundation, so be it. There's a relative who told my husband, wow, you're acting like a prison, because we actually had a schedule, like a routine. They didn't just eat here and there and whenever and all day. They actually had real meal times, guys. And wow, they had nap times, an actual nap time. And we taught them at home how awfully, terribly abusive. So this person told my husband that they hope that our children will rebel against us. But we're not teaching our children at home so we control them. We don't want mini me's. We just want children who love God, who know why we believe and act the way we do. And then they can go and make their own decisions. And stupidly enough, come on, how many unhomeschooled children do you know who also rebel against their parents, their families anyway? Look, it's not superior. No schooling is superior in that sense of rebellion, of children not being under our thumbs. We're not educating our children so that they obey us. We are hoping that they will be grounded enough to obey God, which means to obey God in every sense. Which also means they will not hate people who don't live the way we live. They will love them, but we don't want them to join them. So the particle, the freak, whatever they are, they will love them, but we don't want them to become them. And we want them to know why. We want them to know that their bodies, both girl and boy, belong to God, and they need to be glorifying Him through their bodies, and that how they live gives a message. What they wear, it does give a message, and we do it innocently. We honestly do. I know when I was growing up in the normal school system, I dressed a certain way because I looked cute, and people would tell me, "Oh, you look cute," and I was half naked. But I didn't mean any harm in it. If my thinking was, if I've got it, flaunt it. Not that I felt like I had it, because I'd been told my legs are too skinny and my forehead is too high. So that isn't even why I was doing it. It was more a matter of, it looks cool on the mannequin, I think it looks cute on me. That was the reason. I wanted to look cute. But I do know at the same time, though I wasn't trying to give off a message, my friend and I would walk, as I told you, we exercised, we'd also take walks, dressed in our cute little, short little dresses, and there would be men following us in cars. And this one man stopped us once, old man in a white car, and he asked, how much? We were so upset that he would ever assume that us, good Christian girls, were selling our bodies. But the truth is, we were dressed like someone who is selling the body. We were dressed like them, but we weren't them. That we weren't. We didn't live a promiscuous life. But that was the message you were giving. That's the message you were sending off. And this isn't meant to be about dressing, but I will say this. The more we studied, the more we changed. And her change wasn't permanent, but when you think of Adam and Eve, they were covered in light. And then they changed. When they sinned, they made themselves aprons or fig leaves, and then God made them sheep coats of skin. Coat. It's like how God is clothed, how Jesus is clothed. How is Jesus clothed? That is how we wanted to be when we realized we wanted to be Christian, not only in how we spoke, but also in how we lived, how we presented ourselves. So the coat is, it's long sleeved and it's long. And I will say this, the day my friend and I changed our clothing, we were walking to a Bible shop, funnily enough, to get my boyfriend at the time, who became my husband, an interlinear Bible. And this woman comes up behind us, out of the blue, and she said, I'm coming from town. Those who know Cape Town can picture it. We're walking in Mowbray. Can you imagine where the observatory library is, public library is, or was, where the town hall is? Walking that direction towards where ShopRite used to be. So there's a Bible shop there. So we go walking, and we were going to go to the Bible shop. We haven't come close to it yet. And this woman just gets up she just comes from behind us, a colored lady. And she says to us, I was in a taxi going from town, going to Wynberg. And now we're way before Wynberg. Wynberg is far. She said she was impressed to get out of the taxi, though it was definitely not her stop, because she could see us as she was coming. She was driving. We're walking this way, and she's driving in the taxi this way. She stopped and she said, I could tell from the way you guys were dressed that you girls are Christian. We just happened to be wearing long skirts as opposed to mini skirts. And and she said, and I was not disappointed, because as I was now trying to catch up to you, I could hear you talking, and you're talking about buying Bibles. And she said, please keep it up. God bless you. I just wanted to tell you that. I am not saying that pants wearing girls are not Christian. I am saying, or tight jeans wearing pants, whatever you are. I'm just saying that for us, femininity, modesty are the bastions of our foundation. They are our foundation. They are what we believe represents Christ, the best. And for her to have said that, we were new. It was like the first day we'd gone from pants into that. And I wanted my daughters to have that as a foundation also, to not feel like they have to expose themselves to feel beautiful, to know that they are special, to feel special and loved without having to compete about their bodies. My children are right now, they don't care about fashion, because there's no one here who cares about fashion either. What we watch is also, I will put it in the video if I can find it. I'd taken some snapshots to show you our day, and I'd asked them if they ever get bored. So I'll put it in here, because our life, I think that's the thing here, our homeschool life is heavily intertwined with our Christianity. So what we watch, Philippians 4 verse 8 says, whatsoever is true, pure, just, holy, good, of good report, if it's worthy of being watched or thought about, think on that. So we don't watch news because it's gory. I mean, I do read the news. We do need to know what's going on. But we don't watch things that are not pure, not true, not praiseworthy. We watch educational things because they're true and they're educational. We watch documentaries. They learn things about different countries. For school, if my children, my younger ones, are learning about the continents, I will show them traditional dress of this country, what they eat there. That's what they watch. We learn about how scary it is to be in prison. My son, as he says in the video, he's into pilots and flying. They're into rescue videos. There's lots to do. There is lots to watch. They take walks. I mean, they don't really like exercising anyway. But, you know, we can go and learn. We can go to swimming school if we want to. There's stuff to do as a Christian family. We go into nature a lot. We spend lots of time out in the fresh air, in the trees, amongst the trees, looking at the ocean. That is what gives us pleasure, and that is what we want our children to find pleasure in. Simple creation, not entertainment, not something that they'll watch for 3 hours, get hyped up, have their brains twisted, and it's all fictitious. So that's also part of our homeschooling. We download only what is true, what will build, what will inform, and what is helpful, and also what is just fun, like just for laughs, where it's a gag, as long as it's safe. Of course, I'm not going to show them where the woman's skirt gets ripped off and it's just a bikini bottom. That kind of stuff I don't do. But where it's innocent things where the people end up laughing, just for laughs, that is one of the things they enjoy laughing at. Or some of the Bushman pranks, when I can make sure the language will be clear, and where the people are laughing after, say, oh my word, you scared me. That, because that's how we play here at home. I love scaring them. I love creeping up on them and going boom, and then we get scared and we laugh. And when they get me, my 8-year-old is like, yay, we scared mommy, finally, because I'm not easily scared. We do have fun. We just don't have fun the normal way. There are no video games. They play snakes and ladders. They play design games, and we even snakes and ladders was because the psychologist suggested it for the numbers and, you know, my middle two's weaknesses and challenges. So that's why they play snakes and ladders, and they will have fun. Imagine teenagers and 7, 8, and almost 9-year-olds together, happy. I should show another picture where they're playing Ring Around the Rosies. The old ones and the small ones, happy, together. You don't need to be in a class of 30 people your age to be happy. You just need to be loved and safe and know that you are cared for. So they know we will love them even if they go astray or away from the path we have set, or we believe God has set. They know that they will always be loved, though we won't accept their actions. That we won't do. So they can never come here waving around a bottle of vodka, because we don't drink alcohol. That will not be acceptable. They can't invite me to their house and then expect me to join them in drinking their vodka. Please, no alcohol. I don't want any pickled livers. So we spend lots of time discussing, why don't we eat meat? Okay, not lots of time, but they know why we don't eat meat. Cholesterol, health, clearer frontal lobe, that they know why. If they decide not to, they know what they're doing. If they decide not to be plant-based, they know they will then know what they're doing to their bodies. We cook together. They are now cooking on their own, the teens. We have fun together as a family. Cooking is when I can then say, look, I'm making broccoli. Broccoli is good for you and it's got iron. Don't you love the green color? That's how my younger children learn. So that by the time they're older and cooking, they know the health they are preparing for us. They know why they're cooking what they're cooking. Everything is school. My whole life, my whole day is school. Doing chores is part of my educating them to be useful, to not be lazy, and to be independent. Because when they're out there, I'm not going to be there when they're out there as adults. I'm not going to be there cleaning their rooms. So they must each clean their rooms. From age 6 up, they all must be in charge of their rooms, full-time, beds, everything. So yeah, that is why we homeschool, which moved into how we homeschool. I guess I should add that. So how we homeschool is, I used a Christian curriculum at first. I wanted, as I said, a Christian foundation. So we used mostly the American ones because we believe we know the American syllabus is more advanced. And then we add in language later on. But yeah, so we did a Christian curriculum by Rod and Stoff, which is Mennonite. We did a bit of the Latter-day Saint curriculum because they're also more traditional. And Christian Light, I think they're also quite Mennonite because they also make use of Rod and Stoff things. So at the moment, we are using Christian Light books. They teach a lot about playing together as children, being helpful, that kind of stuff. And then when they're around 13, if they are all if they're neurotypical, which basically means they're okay intellectually, etc., we then move on to Cambridge, the British system. And that's what we do. And then at that point, I expect them to read their Bible first. Before they do school, every morning, they read their Bible first, write down anything that stuck out to them, and they must be ready to share it at any time, to share that, oh, my Bible study this morning was on Kings chapter, whatever, 1 Kings chapter 22, and this is what I read. So even though the curriculum itself is not Bible-based anymore, we still do the Bible. They read the Bible on their own. And when it's Bible class time, I teach the children via video, as you know now. I teach the children. We still have Bible class where we have a Bible story, the scripture verses, time to sing songs. So there's that during the day. And then in the evening, we have family worship also. So yeah, that's how it goes. The dad leaves super early, so we're not going to wake them up and have the twins, especially. Believe me, when you've got special needs children, when you've got highly challenging children, you're not going to wake them up before time because otherwise your day drags on. So we don't do a full family worship when my husband leaves and goes to work. That's our family worship time when they have Bible class time without my husband there. Yeah, so that's why we homeschool, to give them a biblical foundation of love to God and then love to man. Obey God first and then obey man. Love everybody, don't tolerate everything, and value your body because God valued it and created it. So again, that we go back into why we don't eat a certain way, why we don't show off certain parts of our bodies. Again, it's no judgment or condemnation on other people. This is just who we are as a family. I love God. I don't know how to put it. I wish you could read or feel how I feel about God. And so I want my whole life to just show him, praise him, to be an extension of him. So for example, when I was sitting waiting for my father once, he was going to Grooteskier Hospital for an appointment. He lives with a certain relative, so I was waiting for the relative to drive him up to the hospital, and I arrived first. And so I'm sitting on a bench, just doing my own things on my phone. I think I was even on Facebook. And this Muslim man comes, older man, and he says, "You look like a religious person. Please tell me about your faith." That's what I want. I want to look like what I feel inside. I don't want to look normal. Normal is just, if you look normal, no one's going to think, there's something different about you, and there's something so different about God and special. All the time, I think I was having a mammogram, and the radiologist was just asking about my life, and I mentioned my 6 children and home education, and she said, "I couldn't imagine it. I can't imagine it. But you look like a mother who doesn't shout. You look like a mother who's got a lot of patience." And if you watched my interview with my teenagers, that is true. I don't shout. I've never yelled at my children, ever. Well, I've never even yelled at my husband. So if I'm not going to yell at an adult, why would I yell at little children? I've never yelled. So for people to see my character just in my demeanor, or to know that I'm religious in how I look, before I even have to open my mouth. It's special to me. It means that though I don't have a pulpit, I'm not a missionary much. I'm in my mission field of my little children, but it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good to know that I am representing Christ, because Christ also isn't shouting at me. He doesn't yell at me. He doesn't whip me. He might overturn tables, but he's never whipped me. And like me, in that sense, yes, I have yelled. There was a time they were all going crazy. My daughter was pulling me, ice lolly. That's her thing. The OT told us that for sensory children, they need crunchy, cold ice, rice, like crackly stuff, crunchy. So ice lollies. She was pulling me wanting ice lollies. Her twin sister was pulling me going that way, wanting something else. One child was screaming and throwing a tantrum because his brother dared to tell him to pick up his shoes off the floor. My daughter was and but doing like all these strange sounds, and I went, ah! It was too much. I was tired. I was fatigued. I wanted to cry. My body was not, I was in a bad way physically. I needed to be cared for. But instead, I'm harassed by all this sound and movement and noise and screaming. So I went, ah! And my little twin, my very talkative one, she came running to me, stood in front of me, and then looked at her older sister and laughed. And she said, ha ha ha, mommy shouted. That is what they know of as mommy shouting. And I've asked my teens, what would you do if I started shouting at you? And they said, we would laugh, because that is not you. So that's what I want. I want them to be gentle, to treat people gently, to be patient. That is now my other reason now today why I homeschool, because it's different. I also wanted them to be missionaries where they are in the business field, to do well academically. But now with my younger children, I don't know how that looks anymore. I don't know what the future means for them. I don't know what it will bring to them. I don't know what they'll be able to do, what they won't be able to do. So I just want them to be kind. I want them to be loving. And I want them to be proud of who they are. Not proud of what they achieve. If they don't have any degrees, I don't care. Even if my teens don't have a degree, I don't care. I mean, my son wants to be a pilot. There's no pilot. He'll go to flight school. He won't get a degree. And he'll do some cybersecurity courses also. My daughter wants to do nursing. She wants a degree. I wouldn't care even if she did the ones through, is it Netcare and Mediclinic, where they teach you, they do nursing diplomas, and then you do a diploma in your specialization. I wouldn't care. I just want children who will be happy, who will treat others kindly. That is why I homeschool today. That is why I homeschool. Does school look like for my younger ones? It's laminating things, cutting them out for fine motor skills. It's buying things online, all in a bid to be more therapeutic. There's no point in being academic, doing A, writing A, if they can't cut yet, if they can't use their fingers. So I'm going from the basics. For my non-speaking angel, this is what school is. Wave, wave, standing, stand, stand, standing still. And Amy, wave Mickey. Thank you. Wave Amy. Amy is waving, waving. Amy and Mickey are standing. It's art for my 4-year-old who can hold a pencil. It's using iPad for my other angel, especially my non-speaking one, and her learning through that medium. School is sensory play, setting up water for all of them with foam, setting aside clothing for them to wash. It's play is school. Vision therapy, like this patch to cover one eye, and occupational therapy. It's an all-day thing. It's a whole life thing. Educating my children is all day, forever. And I love it. Though I don't like having to mark my older children's schoolwork at 10 o'clock. I really don't enjoy that. But it has to be done. I'm not going to show your face, but I want to know, do you ever have moments where you think, man, I'm bored? Can I show your face? No. Do you ever feel like you're bored? Like, man, I'm so bored. No. Okay. I'm coming, my angel. Eliora, do you ever feel like... my face? Okay, I'll show your back. Do you ever feel like you're bored? I'll show from your neck down. Do you ever have moments where you feel like, man, this is so boring?
There's always stuff to do. So no.
There's always stuff to do. And... Pardon? What do you want?
Phone.
Phone? Do you want brain music?
A phone.
Oh, the calculator. Okay, now tell me something. What do you guys watch? Seeing as you don't watch fiction, what do you watch?
Documentaries.
Documentaries? What interests you? What have you watched?
What have I watched?
Yes, what have you watched? Dawa. Okay, you can go take it. What have you watched?
Medical documentaries.
Medical documentaries,
Documentaries.
Aeroplane,
Ones about animals, nature.
Sorry, animals, nature. She's making so much noise with her chair. All right, so tell me, what career do you want?
Pilot.
You want to become a pilot, so the aeroplane ones are very interesting to you,
Yes.
eh? All right, and I've been downloading. We follow people's channels. There's Wonder, there's Tracks. Please sit down. Are you going to sit down and eat? Then you can have your treat. Eliora, what do you watch? It's not there.
The same.
You watch it.
Eggs.
Eggs?
The content.
Did you say eggs? Does the peanut look like an egg? The peanut looks like an egg. Peanut. It reminded you of an egg. You see eggs on TV.
This one.
You're going to eat this one, hey? Okay, Mikaya, come here. What kind of things do you watch?
We watch.
Okay, do you watch Blippi?
Yes.
Yes, you watch educational stuff, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell me who else you watch? Can you name them? Miss Ma?
Miss Money.
Miss Money. She's from what country? Do you remember? Do you know? Where's she from?
Australia.
Australia, okay. And what else do you like to watch? What about Mystery Diagnosis? Yes, you like that. Mystery Diagnosis where people have strange diseases. You like that.
But she is.
She is what?
Scared about yucky stuff.
She's scared of yucky stuff, hey? So she did say so. And you guys, what about pet heroes?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you like pet heroes. Nelo, do you like to watch Miss Linky?
Yes.
Yes, you do, hey? What does Miss Linky do?
She said hello.
She says hello. Does she teach you how to talk?
Yes.
Yes, she does. Right? Yeah, some of the things she does. And she also does exercise. All right. Anything else you want to add about your non-boring life? What do you read, teenagers? I'm still making sure I've cut you.
Books and magazines. A lot of magazines.
Books and magazines. Okay, books on what? What do you like reading? Personally.
I like reading business books, tech books. Yeah, mainly business and technology.
And magazines?
Magazines, technology magazines, and car magazines.
And car magazines. By the way, your birthday subscription is over.
Yes.
Do you like to read books?
Yes.
What books do you like? Do you like the story of
Elisha.
Yes, you like the story of Elisha. Eliora, what do you like reading?
Almost the same thing as BK, kind of.
Tech and cars.
No, business. Business.
Okay, you like business?
And anything that ends up buying, giving to us, or whatever you end up buying, giving to us.
Okay.
And what's that one?
Okay, stop. Wait.
I buy you guys things like foster care, medical things. Do you like those foster care stories? Admission stories, yes. Do you like them?
Yes,
yes.
because the black one
You plan to buy more. Kathy Glass. Someone wants attention. Someone hates not having attention on her. No, she hasn't even finished eating. She hasn't eaten at all. She doesn't want someone else to be recorded. That's what she doesn't want.
Mama.
Amrisa, Mikaya, please take your supper and come and sit here and eat. Okay?
Mama.
Thank you. Yes.
Mama, there's some boxes.
Yes, there's some books. Do you want the Bible Animals one?
No, I don't want the animals one.
Do you want this one?
Okay.
Um,
Okay, one song.
oh, one song.
Yes.
Well, Ria might want it, hey? That's one of her favorite books. We're in trouble. I'm meant to laminate this. That's also coming up.
she wants it, so she's trying to give it to Lena.
Just no, eat Rio. We should have hidden it until in one of their wardrobes, eh?
Mama.
Yes.
Mom did it.
Now I said, Mom, what?
Yes.
Mommy shock, did you
Pardon?
Mommy shock.
Mommy shock. Okay. Thank you, Nela. You played one song. Please don't sit on the book. Now, Rio, can you also play one song? Can you play songs for Nela? Please play songs for Nela. Amrisa Mikaya, please come eat. This is the nuts chaos where no one does anything they're told to do. Amrisa, please come sit down and eat. Thank you. Inwele, inwele, inwele zikamama, inwele zikamama, mommy's hair. That is how we homeschool. I hope it gives you a good enough glimpse. Take care.